Your Country 1039 KGRT. That's Kane and Caitlin Brown. Thank God.
Las Cruces.
That's right. Our question of the day brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. And we're going to talk about the good old days that aren't necessarily all that great. You know, you know what I'm talking about. In fact, it reminds me of a line from a song. I think it's a Billy Joel song. The good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow's not as bad as it seems. But the 90s have been trending recently, apparently. As an incredible decade and lots of nostalgia going on. But some Gen Xers online are listing some of the worst parts of the 90s because, Gen Xers like to throw a little wrench in that thing just to stir things up a bit. But basically, it is just to show that nothing is ever perfect as we remember. We like all the good memories in our past, but not everything was always all that great. Like, if we're looking back at the 90s, one of the things not so great, getting locked out of your house after school, having no way to contact your parents because nobody had a cell phone out there. But maybe your neighbors weren't home either, and there you go. Yeah. Or insanely high prices for technology. Think about how much a TV cost back then and what it costs right now. And we weren't even talking flat screens. Those didn't come around until a few years later in the later 90s, right? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. And then, of course, there was still a bunch of scary stuff going on there in the early 90s, the AIDS crisis, Columbine, Waco, Oklahoma City, all that stuff too. Now, I don't want to necessarily dwell on a lot of the bad things right there, but just thinking about that, yeah, good old days, pretty cool, but not everything was perfect. So my question for you today, what is something that wasn't so great about your good old days? Okay. And while I'm thinking back on this one right now, this actually just popped into my head right now. I'm thinking back all of the music that I loved and how easy it is to get to hear new music these days. Very, very, very quickly. Or I should say get your hands on it because, I had to wait for the albums to come out, go on sale at the local record store. Although I do miss going through all of those albums. That was a whole lot of fun. That was one of the things that was really, really cool. Or even the idea of watching movies like pretty much any time you want and the movie that you wanted to watch. I mean, even if you had cable back then with HBO and all those movie channels, kind of stuck with their schedule. You know what I mean? Had to plan to make sure that you're doing that. So now you wanted to watch something, you can pretty much watch it whenever you want, wherever you are. So, that was one of those things. But let me know your answer for our question of the day. What is something that wasn't so great about your good old days? Call them in, text them in at 575-523-KGRT. And, of course, you can leave your comments on our social media pages where we are live right now. In fact, we do a little extra there for our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. Okay, all exclusively up on our social media pages right now. Trying a few different things today, so we'll see how that works, especially up on YouTube. But we are live, and of course, you can leave your comments for our question of the day today. What is something that wasn't so great about your good old days? We like to wax nostalgic, if you will, about all the cool things that were going on when we were growing up. But, there were things that were not so great about that, I can think back about all the video games that I used to play, but, compared to today's graphics, I mean, come on. Except for that whole Minecraft thing, which still blows my mind. I do not get that one at all. You went back to, 8-bit graphics. I'm not going to go off on that. Not going to go off. Right now, I want to hear your answers for our question of the day. What is something that wasn't so great about your good old days? Those are ones there. Let's see. You got a text message. Let's see. Having to wait for your favorite song to come on and record it on a cassette player. That was not necessarily great, but it was fun because I sat there doing it myself. In fact, I just shared a post of like a Casey Kasem countdown thing. I would listen to AT40 all the time back when I was a kid. But yeah, waiting for your favorite song to come on because DJs don't always play it when you want it. I will own up to that one right there. But let me know your answers for our question of the day. What is something that wasn't so great about your good old days? In the meantime, let's go ahead and see what's going on with the world. Let's see. Apparently, 124.9 million people watched the Super Bowl, and that's down from last year's total of 127.7 million. Bad Bunny's halftime show drew 128.2. His show is fourth most watched behind Kendrick Lamar, Michael Jackson, and Usher. I don't know. But those, I'm going to put it this way. The TV might have been on at 124.9 million people, but how many people actually watched a lot of that? I'm just saying. And the YouTube numbers definitely look a little bit different for that halftime performance, which, by the way, is the easy way to put on the captions if you want to get the translations there. Britney Spears recently sold the rights to her music to Primary Wave for $200 million. The rights are for Oops, I Did It Again, Baby One More Time, Give Me More, and a lot of others. So, yeah, I guess she's saying, like, I'm not doing any more new music and get some cash. I figured it would be worth a lot more than that, though. Let's see. Doritos is launching a new Doritos protein chip. I'm sensing a trend right here. A lot of the chips, Brad's Crust, doing the high protein thing. Interesting. We'll have to see how that goes. U.S. Air Force recently banned glasses with photo, video, and AI capabilities. Security concerns. Yeah, I would be concerned about those. You know, we used to have those in spy movies, and now anybody can get their hands on a set of Meta glasses and record every place that they go. And remember those McDonald's caviar kits that we were talking about, you know, muck caviar, if you will? Well, apparently they all sold out. And a lot of people were like, oh, bummer. Look, if you're buying caviar from McDonald's, you know, don't expect the best, especially when there's like $25, I think, Arch card to purchase chicken nuggets from there and the spoon and the whole thing. I mean, I'm just saying, got to expect what you expect, right? Once again, my friends, we are looking for answers for our question of the day today. And that is, you know, when we think about our good old days, because a lot of people are waxing nostalgic, in this case, these days, particularly for the 90s. I'm a little older than that. I mean, the 90s were good, but I'm a little bit older than that. So when I think back about my good old days when I was growing up, you know, there's always some things that weren't so great, right? So, yeah, I think the movie thing is definitely one of those, because I do love going to watch movies in the theater, but the idea that you can pretty much watch any movie anytime that you want at any place on your phone or a tablet or something like that is pretty cool, as opposed to, although I do miss standing in line at the movie theaters and those big theater movie openings, or when I worked at a theater and I got to see the sneak preview. So there are some good things, but if I wanted to watch one of my favorite movies right now, you know, I've got a file saved on my computer. I can definitely get that done. But yeah, so that's one of those things, having to wait for movies to come out on cable or having to watch it on somebody else's schedule, not your own. That wasn't all so great. So we definitely got it really nice right now. But what about you? What is something that when you think about your good old days that just wasn't so great? Yeah, let me know your answers. Call them in, text them in, leave your comments down below for our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces.